Many chess players know, and probably you know, that the queen trades are probably one of the most consequential decisions in the game chess. But a lot of beginners, on the other hand, they think that it's really a matter of simplicity, simple trade, nothing to think about. But really, it's the exact opposite. Really consequential to decide whether to trade the queens off or not. So this video we'll be talking about how we can just determine when to take the queens off or keep them on. And we'll just start with this example now. So it's white to move. It comes from this sort of Slav structure, and it's white to move. And the question is, should we, as white, take the queen on b6 or with our queen on b3? So the answer is no, because if they do that one, the problem is that they can take with a pawn and have this open a file. Also threatening to do this, take on b1, taking a2, and overall, this is really going to be really bad for white, and this advantage for white is just basically give up, so it's really not there. You want to put the question to him, you want to take my queen or not? So they can't take the queen because the same thing happened to them, but they usually go queen c7, but still we have something like bishop f4, and we have advantage, stable advantage to try to win the game. So basically the answer of this example, don't trade off the queens. So we want to make sure that the resources that the opponent has with the queens traded off doesn't hurt you in the end. So example number 2, and it's white to move in this one. And the question is, should we go queen a3 trade off queens? Why do you want to trade queens is another question. So the answer is yes, you want to trade off queens, because after queen a3, black is basically out of options. They have to take the queen. Let's say if they don't take the queen, let's say queen e6 or something, like queen e8, doesn't matter. Now we go as white. Do you see the move to punish black? Just they punish black. Queen c5 is a move, taking this a7 pawn. So they can't go there because the rook will be not guarding b7, so they have to go a6, and now queen a7. The b pawn is going to be lost. The game will be just won from white's perspective, so this is really not acceptable for black. So instead, black is pretty much forced to take this queen on a3, but after this one, this would be no pressure on this one for us as white. We're going to do rook a b3 and take this b7 pawn. There's no way to defend this one adequately, and if they do defend this one like bishop c8, and basically all control, the initiative is on white's side. There's no problems for us, and the game would be passive for black for the rest of the game, and there's no problems at all for us to try to play for the win. So the final example is this one, and it's white to move. And another thing about the queen trades is that if our king is more vulnerable than his king, we want to trade off the queens, because the queens are the most powerful attackers of the enemy king. So we have to trade off the queens. That way we relieve our pressure on our king. So the king's on for 1, and the king for them is on 8. So this is a king's gambit opening for this game. So we want to trade off the queens. So there's only one way to trade off this one the right way. So do you see it? Do you see the move that trades off the queens by force in the right way? So if you say that you want to do something like bishop e3 or bishop e3, they're not going to be as good, because let's say bishop e3, then black can just do something like queen g6, defending f7, and basically black will be just having a heyday to just try to chip away his white's defenses, and the game will be really bad for white. So instead, the only move that white has to just do to just have a good game is bishop c7, the only move, because it attacks the rook and it attacks the queen, so they have to trade the queens to save the rook. If they don't do that, I'll just take the rook. So queen takes f2, king takes f2, let's say the rook d7, but now bishop b6, defending d4. The pawn's not hanging anymore, and white has a really good chance to try to play the game. So it's important to emphasize and recognize when you want to trade the queens and not. So I'll see you next video.